the MP for Mathira constituency, your counterpart that is in the National Assembly, Rigathi Gachagua, who has decried the influx of Chinese in the country and taking over the manual jobs that can be done by Kenyans themselves. And of course, this perhaps will be taking a look at it from the wider continental perspective. But starting with you, Daniel Orogo, before I come to you and Honorable Kositanye, let's listen into what was said by Rigathi Gachagua pertaining the influx of Chinese in the country, or taking over even manual jobs, as he said, according to him, when he issued a presser at the National Assembly the day before yesterday.
And in the process, impoverish our people all the way. And then we are left with very poor people and very good roads and very good dams. And I'm telling you, we are staring at economic slavery. And if we don't do this thing quickly, our children and our grandchildren will blame us. I am feeling like this is the time we're fighting for independence. And let me tell you, this is not a joke. You can allow people just to come here like a joke. Before you realize what is happening, they have taken over this country.
Okay, there is the Member of Parliament for Mathira, that is Rigathi Gachagua. I'll come to you on this, Daniel Orogo. Specifically here, I mean, what the context with which he was speaking is perhaps what was decried upon the African continent, the lack of respect for labor laws by the Chinese. And to just quote the former spokesperson for ECOWAS, the West African Economic Bloc, Adama Gaye, who is a journalist based in the Senegalese capital, Dakar, he said that China brings even their own workers in undertaking big projects and small projects for manual jobs that can be undertaken by people in the African continent and Africans. He mentioned, of course, that during an interview with the international station. So they are not helping the local industries grow and have no corporate social responsibility sense. In terms of putting this into context and, of course, amalgamating it to what the Member of Parliament said, do we need to worry about the Chinese influence in the African continent?
Oh, why not? We have to get worried as Kenyans. And you see, this is something that has been brought to context in a number of times. Mm-hmm. When our president led a delegation to the Chinese African FOCAC Summit some times ago, and you see Kenyans were questioning now what is, when you get the loans there, what are the implications of the Chinese loan? And I think there was a rejoinder by the China government that they do not have these kind of speculations that Kenyans are thinking that their loans, do not respect, the consequences of human standards and human rights. But really, our territorial integrity needs to be something that is, first-hand. And one of the things that you could actually see that Americans voted President Donald Trump was that he said the interest of Americans first. The multinational companies that are investing in America needs to put the Americans' interest first. And this is what I'm also requesting our leaders and our National Assembly representatives, that the executive, these are hue and cry by Kenyans, that you see, the Chinese companies are flooding, the Chinese products are flooding our markets. Okay. And as much as we sign treaties of a free trade area, we have to respect that at the end of the day, it's the interest of Kenyan traders first. But if the public procurement and asset disposal amendment bill, and I think this is what we are amending for 2018, by the fact that there's a proposal that contracts that are 1 billion and below, Kenyans could actually do them. And you see, Dr. Fred Matiang'i sometimes ago was so frustrated. Yeah. Why would even supervision, of buildings be done by Chinese? Why would all these manual jobs be done by Chinese? Why not Kenyans? Why not give Kenyans a space? Okay. So it's actually a time where I think we need to review if there are policies, if there are laws that we really need to review to put the Kenyans' interests at first hand. Okay. Honorable Kositanye, coming to you on this, then a lot is happening across the African continent with regard to China's, sense of growing attention to the continent and perhaps to deviate its at the trade war between Washington and Beijing now that they seem to be in a position of scrambling and partitioning the African continent. But when you look at the bill proposed by the Member of Parliament, he decried the fact that all work that can be done, small jobs, are done by the Chinese, despite the available workforce in the country. Is it perhaps a genuine call to relook at our affair with the Chinese government with regards to the influx they are making into the country and coming with their own workforce instead of appreciating what's available in the country and making use of Kenyans' available workforce in the country
society which is vast and perhaps can do what they have done here locally? I mean, keeping all this, the crying from members of parliament and the public at large at bay.
Well, I think the bill or the proposed amendment by the Honorable MP for Madeira, my good friend Gachagua, is timely. Yeah. At the end of the day, we must protect the Kenyan. At whatever level the Kenyan is in, he needs protection. For very long, we have always thought that only those who you need to protect are only the downtrodden, the less fortunate. We also need to protect the business community, because that is where we get the people who have the money, and they will start developing, and that money trickles down to the casual worker. So I think it is timely. We need to relook at, but there is already a law which is not being implemented, because I remember there was a law that was passed that for any contract, 40% of the work must have local content. If you get a contract for 2 billion shillings, 40% of that you have to award to a local contractor. Is that happening? I don't think so. And even if it is happening, the Kenyan is being overworked and not getting the value for money for the 40% that they're given. So I think we need to enact a law. We need to have the Chinese come in. They're doing a good job. They're building good roads, and we need the roads. But we need to restructure. How are they coming in? How many employees are they allowed to bring? Are they bringing in labor that we as Kenyans cannot do? That is the most important thing. But if they are bringing in a grader and a driver of a grader or a driver of a compactor, honestly, we have several Kenyans who can do that. So I think we need to just engage. Let them give us the money. Let them come with the machinery. But the 80 to 90% of the labor should be local.
Okay.